各位记者朋友，大家下午好，欢迎出席。
Good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference. An announcement first. At the invitation of State Councillor and Foreign Minister Qin Gang, ASEAN Secretary General Dr. Cao Kim Hon will pay an official visit to China from March 24th to 29th. During the visit, Dr. Cao Kim Hon will also attend the Boao Forum for Asia Annual Conference 2023. Now questions, please.
Question from Reuters. Has the Honduran foreign minister arrived in China already? And have China and Honduras signed an agreement on establishing diplomatic relations? Thank you.
据我们了解，洪都拉斯外长目前正在中国，双方是否已经发布了建交联合声明？
坚持一个中国原则是国际大义，人心所向。
Standing up for the One China principle is the right thing to do. It has the overwhelming support of the international community and represents the prevailing trend of the world. We welcome Honduran government's positive statements on growing ties with China, and we are ready to establish bilateral relations with Honduras on basis of equality and mutual respect. Next one, please.
This year marks the 10th anniversary of a human community with a shared future put forward by President Xi Jinping. How does China view the significance and outcomes of the vision? President Xi Jinping, based on China's realities and with a global outlook, had a thorough analysis of what kind of a world we should build and how to build it, and put forward the vision of a human community with a shared future 10 years ago. The vision, consistent with the historical trend, answers the questions of the time. It reflects the fine culture of China and other countries and the values all humanity holds dear, representing the greatest denominator of building a beautiful world and becoming a banner that spearheads the times and human progress. Over the past decade, the idea has been translated into action, and the vision has become a reality with all-round and pioneering achievements. China has made active efforts for a new type of international relations, upheld the common value of humanity, promoted high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, put forward and implemented the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative, and advanced the building of an open, inclusive, clean, and beautiful world that enjoys lasting peace, universal security, and common prosperity. Bilaterally, China has issued action plans or joint statements or reached common understandings with more than 10 countries, including Laos, Pakistan, Cambodia, Thailand, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Cuba. Regionally, China has advanced the vision with Africa, Arab countries, Latin American and Caribbean countries, ASEAN, Lancang Mekong countries, Central Asia, and SCO. Globally, high-quality Belt and Road cooperation has been written into UN documents many times and has won active support from more than three-quarters of countries in the world. The three initiatives China put forward have received warm response. Major initiatives including building a global community of health for all and a community of life for humanity and nature promoted progress in global governance. Since day one, the vision has been radiating the light of truth, and its historical insights and the value of the times are more prominent against the backdrop of global transformations. Building a human community with a shared future has been incorporated into the Constitution of the CPC and the Constitution of China and been included in resolutions or declarations of multilateral institutions like the UN, the SCO, and BRICS, which has been warmly received globally and spoken highly of by many parties. President of the 77th session of the UN General Assembly, Kasaba Kurosi, said, facing major global crisis, humanity should build an even close community with a shared future. Building a community of shared future is an exciting goal, and it requires efforts from generation after generation. China is ready to work with the world to defend world peace and promote common development, build a human community with a shared future, and create a better future for the world. Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。环球时报记者提问：日前，美英澳发布了其核潜艇合作。
The US, the UK, and Australia have recently unveiled the details of their nuclear submarine cooperation plan. Australia is seeking to consult with the IAEA on safeguards arrangements. We understand that the permanent mission of China in Vienna has sent a diplomatic note to the IAEA on the AUKUS cooperation, stressing China's opposition to any consultation between the IAEA Secretariat and Australia on safeguards arrangements. Could you elaborate on China's position? The US, the UK, and Australia are putting up an Anglo-Saxon clique to press ahead with their nuclear submarine cooperation and coercing the IAEA into endorsing their plan. China has made clear its severe concern and firm opposition. I would like to stress the following. First, the AUKUS cooperation exposes the three countries' double standard and hypocrisy on nuclear non-proliferation. The JCPOA kept Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium at 300 kilograms of uranium gas enriched to 3.67% purity. The AUKUS deal involves the transfer of tons of weapons-grade highly enriched uranium of over 90% purity from the US and the UK, both nuclear weapon states, to Australia, a non-nuclear weapon state. The proliferation risk here is only too obvious. This allows the world to see how the three countries use non-proliferation as a geopolitical tool. They have no scruples about proliferating nuclear material and technology to an ally, but would castigate those who are not one of them in the name of upholding non-proliferation. Second, the AUKUS cooperation is a clear example of the three countries' hegemonic practice in defiance of international rules. They press the IAEA to invoke Article 14 of the CSA to make safeguards arrangements, which is essentially coercing the IAEA Secretariat into making safeguards exemption arrangements. There remain huge divergences in the international community on the interpretation and applicability of Article 14. Throughout the history of the IAEA, the formulation and improvement of all types of safeguards agreements were done through consultation of interested member states before being reviewed and adopted by the Board of Governors. The US, the UK, Australia, and the IAEA have no right to wantonly interpret the issue of the applicability of Article 14, still less strike a deal between themselves and impose it on the entire membership. Third, AUKUS seriously undermines the international non-proliferation regime. It will place large amounts of weapons-grade nuclear material in the hands of a country in a nuclear weapon-free zone beyond the effective reach of the international safeguard system. This is in clear contravention of the object and purpose of the NPT. AUKUS will set an egregious precedent, and it's highly likely that others will follow suit. It will have a negative impact on the resolution of regional nuclear hotspot issues and may eventually lead to the collapse of the international non-proliferation regime. The three countries would feel the consequences themselves. We urge the three countries to earnestly fulfill their obligations, change course, and avoid opening Pandora's box. We call on the IAEA to faithfully assume its responsibility in non-proliferation and refrain from endorsing the three countries' proliferation acts. We hope all member states of the IAEA will actively move forward the intergovernmental process and seek a solution to the safeguards issue with regard to the AUKUS cooperation. We need to firmly defend the international non-proliferation regime and safeguard global peace and security. Next question, please.
Reuters. The Honour's Finance Minister is visiting China today.
Turn on your mic, please.
Ghana's finance minister is visiting China for debt talks. Can you share more information about the agreements that have been reached? Thank you.
加纳的财长正在中国进行访问，您能否进一步介绍双方达成协议的内容？请记者再重复一遍问题，尤其是前面的国家。Could you repeat your question, especially identifying the country?
Can you share more information about what agreements have been reached?
加纳财长日前正在中国访问，您能否进一步透露双方达成了什么样的协议？
我们此前呢已经回答过这。
We answered this question before. You can refer to our previous answers. I want to reiterate that we attach importance to Ghana's debt issue and understand the difficulties Ghana face. We would like to enhance communication with Ghana to seek a proper resolution of the Ghana's debt issue. We also believe that it requires the concerted efforts of Ghana and all international partners. Multilateral creditors should take part in the debt relief efforts for developing countries. They are the main creditors. Next question, please.
谢发言人，总台央视记者提问：近期，美国硅谷银行倒闭，成为自2008年。
The collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank marks the biggest bank failure in U.S. since 2008 financial crisis, and reports said 186 U.S. banks are at the risk of meeting a similar fate. Do you have any comments? We are closely following the developments. Due to the deep interconnectedness of worldwide markets within the global financial system, problems with U.S. banks by no means just impact the U.S. itself. The SVB's collapse has sent shockwaves throughout the global financial market. We hope the U.S. will increase transparency and enhance communication with the rest of the world, provide clarity on the exact size of the risk, steps to address it, ways to minimize its spillover, as well as other widespread concerns of the global community. This is a responsibility and what is expected of the U.S. The U.S. dollar is an international currency. Given this, the U.S. should not simply anchor its monetary policy to domestic economic regulation goals. Instead, it needs to assess with caution any potential ensuing negative spillover. We urge U.S. to take responsible macroeconomic policy, take credible steps to stabilize market expectations and investor confidence, and avoid radical policy shifts that may cause serious spillover effects and repeat the history of the 2008 financial crisis. We also call on financial regulators of countries concerned to take concrete steps to keep money safe for all clients, including foreign depositors. China will work with all economies to enhance macroeconomic policy coordination and uphold global economic and financial stability. Next question, please.
He privately asked Taiwan for US $2.5 billion in aid. The person said that Taiwan said China was simply trying to ponder his request. Which response?
据知情人士称，在洪都拉斯总统在推特上宣布将寻求和中国建交的前一天，洪昌曾要求台湾方面提供25亿美元的资金。台湾当局怀疑中国大陆政府是在背后操纵洪都拉斯方面的请求。你对此有何评论？
有关说法十分荒谬，纯属无中生有。近日，洪都拉斯外长
These allegations are preposterous and groundless. The Honduran foreign minister said in a recent interview that President Castro made the decision to grow relations with China in response to the trend of the times and in light of the realities of Honduras. The One China principle represents the prevailing trend of the world and has the overwhelming support of the international community. We welcome Honduran government's positive statements on establishing ties with China, and we are ready to establish and grow the relations with Honduras on the basis of equality and mutual respect. Next one, please.
Question from AFP. The New Zealand foreign minister is in Beijing these days. Do you have any details to share with us? Thank you.
新西兰外长日前正在访华，您能否介绍更多的信息？
我不掌握相关的消息。
I have nothing to share at the moment. Next question, please.
Question from Reuters. Can you share more details of the program for the Spanish Prime Minister's China visit next week? Thank you.
您能否进一步介绍西班牙总统下周访华的信息？
中国和西班牙关。
China and Spain enjoy sustained, healthy and stable development. The two leaders maintain sound communication and exchange. As for the specific visit, I have nothing to share at the moment. Please check back for updates. As for AFP's question on New Zealand's foreign minister's visits to China, I want to add that we will keep you posted. Please check back for updates. Next question, please.
Thank you, NBC. The U.S. National Security spokesperson John Kerry, reviewing the joint statement between President Xi and President Putin, cited UN principles and international law, to which he said the U.S. agreed. So we know the differences between the U.S. and China, but should there some basis for the two countries to work to promote, to bring Ukraine and Eurasia to the negotiating table? I'm asking for the attitude and willingness on China's part. I'm not asking about the American attitude here. Thank you.
我的问题是关于美国国家安全顾问科比，他在谈到习主席和普京总统会谈的结果的时候，引用了诸如尊重领土完整和联合国原则等这些美国都认同的原则。那么我想请问的是，中美之间是不是有一些基础可以在这个俄乌问题上进行合作呢？我问的不是美国方面的态度，而是中国方面的意愿，中国有没有意愿这么做？
Could you repeat your question, please?
Isn't there some common ground for the right Ukraine, Russia? I'm asking about China. That's America.
美国国家总统安全顾问科比。
China would like to work with the rest of the world to play a constructive role on the political settlement of the Ukraine crisis. The U.S. should view China's efforts to promote peace talks in an objective manner, stop fanning up the flames, deflecting blames, and other anti-China remarks and deeds. Next question, please.
王博士。
Thank you. Bloomberg News. Xi and Putin apparently agreed to deepen cooperation on an atomic energy known as fast neutron reactors. That technology worries the U.S. military because it could upset the global balance of nuclear weapons, allowing countries to make warheads faster. How does the ministry respond to this?
中俄正在深化一些合作，包括在原子能领域，可能会进行关于这个快堆的这个合作，可能会打破全球的核武器平衡。中方对此有何回应？
据我了解，快堆。
As far as I know, fast reactor is one of the Generation 4 nuclear energy systems widely recognized by the world. The US, France, and Japan, and also other countries are also conducting research and development on fast reactor. China and Russia carry out normal civilian nuclear cooperation and within the framework of international obligations and bilateral governmental agreements. This is normal and beyond reproach. Next question, please.
From Reuters. According to South Korean military, North Korea fired multiple cruise missiles off its east coast. This comes as South Korea and the US hold joint military exercises. Separately, a US defense intelligence official said that North Korea does not seem to be preparing for an imminent nuclear test, but the US is staying vigilant. What is China's response?
韩国军方表示，在韩美军演之后，朝鲜连续发射了多个导弹。那么同时，美方的国防部情报官员也表示，朝方有在进行相关的射导活动，但是没有见到非常迫近的这个威胁。你对此有何回应？
此刻，美韩大规模。
At the moment, the U.S. ROK large-scale military drill is conducting. It includes amphibian and cutting of heads of state. You can see that this is not defensive in nature. Yesterday, the U.S. and the ROK also released continuing military drills that will be held in June. Relevant countries should stop fanning up the flames and return to a political settlement, make due contribution to alleviating the contradictions. Any more questions?
Question from Reuters. So Taiwanese officials have said that a potential meeting between Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is still being arranged. What's China's response?
台湾官员表示，台湾地区领导人蔡英文和美国众议长麦卡锡之间还是有可能会举行潜在的会面，中方对此有何回应？
首先，我要纠正你的一点，台湾是。
First, I would like to correct you that Taiwan is an inalienable part of China. There is no so-called Taiwan president. As for your specific question, we have shared China's position. I want to reiterate that China opposes any form of Taiwan-U.S. official engagement. We oppose the visit by the leader of Taiwan authorities to the U.S. in any name. We oppose any official engagement between the U.S. and Taiwan. We have lodged representations to the U.S. side. The transit of Tsai Ing-wen is just a pretext. Its real intention is to seek Taiwan independence. We urge the U.S. to earnestly honor its commitment of supporting the One China principle and not supporting two Chinas, the One China, One Taiwan. Stop hollowing out the One China principle. Next question, please.
NBC. Following up on that, Taiwan leader Tsai Ing-wen is going to the U.S. on the way to Latin America, while former Taiwan leader Ma Ying-jeou is coming to China at the same time. Do you have any comment on this coincidence? What's the significance? Thank you.
到这两件事的。
I can't see any connection between the two events you mentioned. We shared our positions on these two separately. Please refer to our previous answers if you are interested.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said China is very carefully watching how the world responds to the Ukraine war, but has not yet provided lethal aid to Moscow. What is China's response?
美国国务卿布林肯称，中方正在非常仔细地观察世界是如何对俄罗斯侵略乌克兰的战争做出反应的，但是目前中方尚未向俄方提供致命武器。你对此有何回应？
中国既不是乌克兰危机的
China did not create the Ukraine crisis. It is not a party to the crisis. It has been advocating political settlements and promoting peace talks. As State Councilor and Foreign Minister Qin Gang said, a few countries have been thwarting efforts for peace talks and has been smearing China and discrediting China. But the world sees where justice lies. When China is calling for peace, the U.S. is announcing further weapon assistance, who is calling for peace and promoting talks. The world can see this very well. China's position is consistent. We choose peace and dialogue and the cooling down of temperature. We do not engage in geopolitical manipulation. We are committed to ceasing of hostilities and promoting peace talks. We urge the U.S. to stop fanning up the flames, deflecting blames and other anti-peace remarks and deeds. We urge the U.S. to work with the international community to promote the political settlement of the Ukraine crisis through political dialogue. Next question, please.
Question from Reuters. So, a Canadian MP resigned from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party after media reports accused him of having ties to the Chinese government. What's China's response to this? Thank you.
加拿大总理特鲁多内阁的一位官员辞职了。此前有人指控他和中国政府有联系，你对此有何回应？请记者再重复一遍问题。Could you repeat the question?一名加拿大议员被迫辞职，因为他受控和中国政府有所勾连。你对此有何回应？
你提到的有关加议员辞职的消息。
As for the resignation you asked, you may ask the Canadian side. Let me say that China opposes interference in other countries' internal affairs. We have no interest and will not interfere in the internal affairs of Canada. We hope relevant individuals will stop fabricating irresponsible remarks. Next question, please.
路透社。
Thank you from Reuters. Separately, Blinken said China will have the ability to invade Taiwan by 2027. What is China's response?
布林肯还称中国在2027年会有能力入侵台湾，你对此有何回应？
台湾是中国的台湾。
Taiwan is part of China. It's China's affair to settle the Taiwan question, and such a question should be decided by the Chinese people. We will do our utmost to seek peaceful reunification, but we will retain the right to all means. The tensions across the Taiwan Strait is because the DPP authorities are seeking independence, inclusion with external forces. If the U.S. really hopes for peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait, it should stop interfering in the Taiwan question, stop creating new factors that might heighten up the tension. Next question, please.
还有其他的问题吗？
The Southern Theater Command announced that it just drove away U.S. warship intruding illegally into the territorial waters of Paracel Islands. Are you not worried that frequent incidents like these could lead to more serious situations in the future? Thank you.
中国南部战区发表声明称，驱逐了一个入侵了中国在南海相关海域的一艘美国舰艇。你是否担心越来越多这样的事件可能会造成一些意外的冲突呢？请记者再重复一遍问题。Could you repeat the question?
美国海军
On March 23rd, a U.S. Navy ship, without the permission of the Chinese government, entered the territorial sea of China's Xisha Islands. It violated China's sovereignty and threatened China's security and jeopardized the peace and tranquility in the relevant waters. The Southern Command of the PLA has followed this ship and issued a warning. The U.S. should stop such provocations. China will take all necessary measures to safeguard its sovereignty and security and uphold peace and stability in the South China Sea. That's all for today. Thank you.